What's going on, guys? Happy Sunday. Hope you guys have had a great weekend. I hope Sunday is off to an amazing start for you. Welcome back to yet another episode of What's On Tap, my YouTube pregame show. Again, if you've been following along from the get go, welcome back. Thank you, as always, for tuning in and supporting. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Thank you for deciding to tune in. And you're probably wondering, what is What's on Tap all about? This is where I can explain. This is when in this instance today, I'm looking back at what caught my eye in the day of football from the previous day, and I'm looking ahead to what's on tap, pun intended, on the schedule today. With that being said, let's dive right in. Rivalry week in college football, and it did not disappoint. Tennessee gets a win over Vanderbilt. You can tell they really wanted that one for Hendon Hooker, who tore his ACL last week in the loss against the South Carolina Gamecocks. And speaking of South Carolina, you beat Tennessee last week. You beat your in-state rival, the Clemson Tigers, yesterday in Death Valley. And Clemson snapped a 40-game home winning streak. They've been so dominant at home and lost by a point yesterday, 31-30. Really been impressed with I can't think of the quarterback's name. Spencer Rattler. There we go. Really been impressed with Spencer Rattler. He's matured as a passer, and I've noticed that in these last two games. The Civil War, that's the Oregon Ducks and the Oregon State Beavers. Oregon State survives, and they win that one by a score of 38-34. Some more coaching mistakes from Dan Lanning at the end. Historic rivalry took place last night in Southern California. Notre Dame, USC, and USC won pretty convincingly, 38-21. Caleb Williams, I think, sealed up the Heisman, best player in the country right now, and it's not even close. We always talk about these guys having those Heisman moments, and I think last night was his, scoring 4 touchdowns. See what he does next week in the conference title game. Georgia dominating Georgia Tech, and then the big one, Michigan getting a big win over the Ohio State Buckeyes in Columbus. Ohio State had it working for them, and then Michigan just adjusted, got back to their bread and butter, which was running the football. Ohio State kept playing that man coverage, and they let a team that doesn't really throw the ball like that too much beat them in the air. What a performance from J.J. McCarthy, and that was the question mark coming into the game. Can he make throws with his arm? And he did that. Ohio State, disappointing way to end the season. Michigan wins the Big Ten East for the second straight year. They're in the Big Ten title game. They will be playing the Purdue Boilermakers, who defeated the Indiana Hoosiers yesterday. TCU handling their business to close out the year against Iowa State. They'll be playing Kansas State next week at Jerry World. It's kind of a homecoming for TCU, considering they play in Fort Worth. That's all I really have for college. Let's talk about what's catching my eye in the NFL. Week 12 resumes today. 3 games took place on Thanksgiving. Bills got by the Detroit Lions. Cowboys defeated the New York Giants by a score of 28-20. And Kirk Cousins won another game in prime time. It's only his second one, I believe. New England losing to Minnesota by a score of 33-26. As far as today, there's a lot to get into. Chicago Bears, New York Jets. No Zach Wilson for the Jets today. His attitude and the way he didn't take accountability for what took place last week against New England. This is a good message that Robert Saleh is sending to him. This is the only way he's going to learn. Justin Fields is expected to play. He's had one hell of a year. I've been so impressed with him, and Bears fans still aren't impressed with him. I don't know what to say. That takes place this afternoon. Ravens, Jaguars. I really like this Jacksonville team. They play hard, and you see a lot more effort this year than you did last year under Urban Meyer altogether. Doug Peterson is an experienced coach. He knows the ins and outs, and he's a Super Bowl winning coach at that. Buccaneers, Browns. Tampa's off the bye week. This is the final game for Cleveland before Deshaun Watson makes his long-awaited debut, deserving that 11 game suspension. Tom Brady, 15-5 in his bye after the bye week, and there's no Leonard Fournette for the Bucks today. But I think Tampa Bay should still be able to win that game. Um, Trying to think what else later today. Bengals Titans playoff rematch. Previewed this one on the site the other day. Last time these two teams played, Cincinnati escaped and upset the number one seed Tennessee Titans. All these months later, here we go, rematch. What can Ryan Tannehill do? He's been really playing well these last couple of games. Some of the later games today, Saints 49ers. 49ers are looking to keep it rolling right now. Chargers go to Arizona to play the Cardinals. Rams, Chiefs, a game that I think a lot of us thought would be a Super Bowl preview, but both teams are really headed in completely different directions. Tonight, Green Bay Packers, Philadelphia Eagles, and then tomorrow, Pittsburgh Steelers will play the Indianapolis Colts. That's it. That's all I have for today. How can you keep up with me? Log on to the website, which is thedailyblitz.blog. Follow us on Twitter at dailyblitz_61. Like the Facebook fan page, facebook.com. Go to the search box, type in The Daily Blitz, and then follow us on Instagram, which is at The Daily Blitz _61. Keep up with me through the airways every Monday Evening Quarterback, my podcast, and I'm going to have a jam-packed show for you tomorrow. I can't wait. Gonna have a lot to discuss and a lot to talk about right after every Monday night and Tuesday night. You can catch me on Prime Sports World, the network, with David Huffman, Israel Rivera, TJ Hopkins, and Matt James. Every Wednesday, you can catch me on the Nerd Zone with Ronnie Coon, John Danzo, Ryan Shaw, and Christopher Lawrence. Every Friday night, you can catch me back on Prime Sports World on College Football Showdown with Israel Rivera. Saturday mornings, What's on Tap. Sunday morning, What's on Tap. And you can catch me on the Sports Cubicle on WCPT 820 AM in Chicago, Illinois, with Paul Shivari, Devin Single, Michelangelo Mercado, and Sistine Chapel. And if you need and Dan Marver, excuse me. And if you need the link to tune in to listen to me on these shows, let me know and I will gladly send it to you. Enjoy the games. Keep sending me your football questions. I'm answering throughout the day.